is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Game one of a doubleheader is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's a steamy afternoon, but that will not hold back the fans. They're lined up outside as we get you set for our first pitch. It's the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Let's play two. Let's try to get this one in. Let's get game two in. The rain is supposed to stay away, and Randal Grichuk is in the lineup. He'll bat leadoff. The lineup from last night is the same for Mike Matheny's club.
You know, Randal Grichuk, like a lot of players early in their career, they have to go up and down. He went down and got a refresher course. He's come back. He's made so much better contact, not chasing balls out of the strike zone. And look at the production. 342, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, and leading off today.
Randal Grichuk in this lineup. It's day baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Game one saw the offense come alive. Will it carry over to game two? We're about to find out. The San Diego Padres, the St. Louis Cardinals, Carlos Martinez on the mound, and baseball is coming up.
Back at Busch Stadium as we get set for Cardinal baseball. Jim Hayes alongside Randal Grichuk. Rain out last night. You played doubleheader today. You guys have had more than your share of rain. What do you do to pass the time?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do. I like to go in the cages. I like to hit a little extra. I like to watch some video. I like to, stay on top of my game. So when we do start that game, we're well prepared and ready to go.
You're in the starting lineup again, leading off. Does that change your approach at all?
No, definitely not. Get a chance to lead off is great. Have that chance at 5 ABs. Get on base too for the power bats in the middle of the lineup.
For the most part, since you've been back up, you've been hitting very well. Do you feel like you're in a good place right now?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like I'm consistent, with my setup and my stance, and I feel like, I'm going up there with confidence and just kind of going up there and reacting and not thinking too much.
Randal, thanks for the time.
No problem.
We'll have more from Busch Stadium coming up. You're watching Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest.
Sports update last night in Chicago at Wrigley Field. This base hit propels the Mets to a win over the Cubbies by the final of 2-1. Jerry's Familia picked up the save, and the Mets have split the first two of that series. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, Josh Harrison, watch this. Could have been caught. Could have been a baseball that allows Harrison just to get to second base, maybe third with the game on the line, but he turns it into a run. Relay gets away. That's in the bottom of the ninth, and the Pirates win it by the score of 3-2. Pittsburgh starts 8 games back of Chicago. The Cardinals 7.5 games out. The race in the National League Central Division. We'll be back with more in just a moment. It's game number 1 of this doubleheader on your home of the Cardinals, Fox Sports Midwest. Jed Gyorko is in the lineup again this afternoon for the Cardinals, and why not? 9 for 14. That adds up to a .643 average, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored in 4 games against his former team. So Jed Gyorko is in the lineup today, and Gyorko will bat 7th. He'll play third base for the St. Louis Cardinals. Meanwhile, Carlos Martinez is on the mound for the Cardinals. Colin Ray for the San Diego Padres. Martinez, Ray, Cards, Padres. Day baseball comes your way next. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Lineup cards have been exchanged. We're getting set for game number 1 of this doubleheader here in St. Louis. Not much of a crowd. Almost feels like a spring training game. The crowd, and you know, it's a big league ballpark, but yet the crowd, we're used to 40,000 plus. That will not be the case here for game number 1.
Fortunately, this was a big crowd for me at certain points in the 70s. But I think the crowd will grow as the day goes along.
Carlos Martinez will get the start for the St. Louis Cardinals here this afternoon. Martinez has pitched very well. This will be the lineup that will feature for Andy Green. Some changes from last night. Travis Jankowski will bat leadoff, play center field. The second baseman is Ryan Schimpf. Will Myers hitting .281. He's popped 20 home runs. Then Solarte, couple of hits in game 1. Melvin Upton Jr., bounce back season for him. Alex Dickerson, Christian Bethancourt, Alexi Amarista, the shortstop, and the pitcher, Colin Ray. 8-6 this year, the record for Carlos Martinez. Last time we saw him, he was dealing against the Milwaukee Brewers. Plenty of rest, and I'm sure that's a plus, but yet you also get a little concerned how amped up he might be today.
You're right, but I think this kid has proven to me how tough he is and how good he is. You see the 8-6 record, not anywhere near the reflection of how good he has been this year. He's only had one bad start. He's got a .285 ERA. You take that one start out, it'd be .245. And if you think about what he did in June, probably would have been the pitcher of the month if his teammates would have gotten him any support, because he was 2-0 with a 1.31 ERA in 5 starts. He was just outstanding, and hopefully it will continue for Mike Matheny and go deep into this game, the first of a twin bill today.
Travis Jankowski will lead it off. We were doing the numbers before the game. After today, the Cardinals will be under 70 games left of this regular season. You think about a benchmark of 90 wins to get into postseason play, and that would mean the Cardinals would have to start really playing better at home and winning series, in particular against teams like San Diego, a team that is 11 games below the 500 mark.
Yeah, Dan, normally you try to play 500 thereabouts against the good teams, and winning series is important, but the guys that are in the rebuilding stages, you just have to absolutely dominate against them.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Jankowski. Lined past the diving Colton Wong and into right center field.
He can fly.
Thinking two on his way to second base with a leadoff double. He showed us that speed there. That ball was hard hit, and he made a double out of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We saw him make his major league debut last year in San Diego. Great speed, really a table setter. And the Padres got some thunder in their bats, but the one good thing is that Martinez, even though he's facing a left-handed batter here, he really dominates right-handers. Right-handed hitters only have one extra base hit against him this year.
Here's Ryan Schimpf, runner at second base. Mike Leake in game one was absolutely awesome. Maybe the best we've seen him pitch, and that's saying something coming off the previous start against Milwaukee, as he struck out 11. Against the Brewers, he struck out 10, and he had 0 walks in both those games. That's well hit into center. Grichuk going back. He'll look up, and it's 2-0 San Diego. Not the kind of start you're looking for here in game one of this doubleheader. Home run number 6, Ryan Schimpf.
Schimpf hadn't been here that long, but the one thing they have found about him, he's not a big kid at all, but it's extra base hits. A lot of doubles, triples, home runs for this young man. She said his 6th home run, just his 11th RBI, but he hits it to dead center field.
At this ballpark, that's not a cheapie.
No, not at all. We have a do-over?
Feels like that, huh?
Yeah.
Brings in Will Myers. Fastball a little bit low at 99 from Carlos Martinez. Myers hitting .281, 20 home runs, and he's driven in 61.
He was 0-4 with 4 strikeouts in that first game against Mike Leake. The first time in his career, and we're talking little league all the way through high school and professionally, that he struck out 4 times in the game.
There's a nasty slider from Carlos Martinez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. When he gets that fastball 95 plus, you can hear it sizzle. Even up here, you can hear the ball with the lack of the crowd here this afternoon. And Al, you're exactly right. I showed you that picture a couple of weeks ago that someone sent me of a game in the 1970s in which it was Bob Gibson on the mound, early 70s. No one at the ballpark. I mean, there was maybe 10,000 people at Old Busch Stadium too.
And sometimes you take a picture from the side and you see the outfield bleachers and just nobody there. I mean, it was, owners treated it like a hobby. Now it's a business.
Late call and a strikeout. So Myers has struck out 5 times in this series. This looked to be a pretty good pitch.
Really kind of a hanging breaking ball, but Myers gives up on it, and he's in a funk right now. He had a great June, player of the month.
Here's Solarte hitting .295, the former Yankee with 9 home runs. He's driven in 38. Loses the bat, and it hits the screen that was put up prior to this season to protect the fans from flying baseballs, and well, it'll protect them from flying bats too. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Holiday in left, Grichuk in center, Piscotty is in right. Gyorko, Diaz, Wong, and Adams on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Around the Horn presented by Dobbs. Fastball, a good one. 0-2.
Carlos has that good fastball, but just seeing him mature as a pitcher.
That's hit sharply into right on an 0-2 pitch. He kept up and a 1-out base hit.
Talk about a lot of times, you know, that these starters, they don't pitch that final weekend, or even if they do pitch the final weekend before the All-Star break, it's a long layoff until they get their next starting assignment. That's maybe part of the problem right here with Martinez.
Here's Melvin Upton Jr. The Padres have homered now in a franchise record 17 straight. Last National League team to hit in 17 straight games, the 2010 Reds, did it in 18 consecutive contests back in May of 2010. And this is a team that's really swinging the bats well. It is a bit surprising, but since the start of June, the Padres lead the National League with now 219 runs scored. Here's a 1-0. Little tapper foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when you think about Will Myers, he was hurt so much last year with a wrist injury. You know, Melvin Upton Jr. was just coming off the couple disastrous first seasons. A big contract with Atlanta, came over here, and now he's starting to show why he got that contract. Remember the Braves
1-1.
when they made the trade with San Diego last year, sending Kimbrel, premier closer, to the Padres. The only way the Padres could make that deal is they had to take Upton.
And he's owed about $17 million next year, the final year of that contract.
Well, they're even time now that he may be a trade bait. I mean, may be willing to take his remaining contract because he's been a productive player once again.
You could see if Will Myers would be the comeback player of the year in the National League, and maybe even Upton. 2-2 the count. Breaking ball taken low. Let's see if they want to start the runners. This season, 262, 16 home runs through July 19th of last year. A couple of home runs, only 5 RBIs total. Solarte, your runner at first. He is not running, and the pitch is taken for a ball.
Also has 20 stolen bases, so not exactly what Martinez wanted to do or start out this way. Diaz is going to come in and say, hey, kid, go to pitching. But already 20 pitches thrown here. You can see control's a bit of a factor.
In a way to protect pitching staffs in doubleheaders, you can add a 26-man to your roster. The Cardinals will add Dean Kiekefer for game number 2 of this 4-game set and game 2 of the doubleheader.
And remember, with the demotion or the DFA for Henry, they were carrying 8 relievers anyway. So now they got 9 for the doubleheader tonight.
Could be 2. Wong flips to Diaz and a double play. 4-6-3 on the double play. A 2-run homer by Schimpf, his 6th of the year, and the Padres grab an early 2-0 lead. behind a 2-run homer from their second baseman Ryan Schimpf have grabbed an early lead. Colin Ray finishing up his warm-up tosses. He's from Cascade, Iowa. A lot of family and friends are here at Busch Stadium amongst the sparse crowd here at the ballpark. Randal Grichuk will bat leadoff for the Cardinals, followed by Aledmys Diaz, then Stephen Piscotty, Matt Holliday, Matt Adams, Yadier Molina, Jed Gyorko, Colton Wong, and the pitcher Carlos Martinez. 5-3 record this year. ERA is near 5 in 87 1/3 innings of work for Colin Ray.
Colin at one point was sent down to the minor leagues, and since he's come back, his numbers actually have gotten worse. One of his biggest problems is going deep in a game. He can't finish off hitters. His pitch count gets up, and with a doubleheader today and them dipping down into their bullpen for the second game starter, it's imperative for the Padres that they get a lot of innings out of Ray.
First pitch to Grichuk is a strike. Padres have actually won 10 of Ray's 16 starts this year, and what he has gotten is a ton of run support. Nearly 7 runs a game in his starts.
Say he's a pitch maker, but he's had trouble, making those pitches, putting hitters away, getting strikeouts.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Grichuk. Fouled back, 1-2. Hyundai pitch arsenal for Colin Ray. What does he feature? Fastball, cutter, curve, and rarely, but he does show it, the split finger. Here's a 1-2.
I don't know about you, but what do you think about Grichuk in the leadoff spot?
I like it.
I do too. We know he has speed. We also know he has the combination of power. See what he's done in his last 10 games, kind of corresponding with coming back from Memphis.
That would be my only concern about him being in the leadoff spot, the strikeouts. But
yeah,
I do think, though, it does show what we've seen with Carpenter is that first time through, once you get past that, it becomes a position where you're driving in runs.
Exactly, but that's one thing too why I don't like him in the middle of the order. Is he really has seemed like he's struggled this year and even last year with runners in scoring position. So put him in a little more relaxed. He can give you a quick lead. So can Diaz. And obviously we showed Carpenter there, and a couple more weeks for him on the DL, but I think he should be able to hit in any spot in the order, but he prefers leadoff. So he's my leadoff hitter.
There you go. Carpenter was playing catch the other day, so he's doing some baseball activities but not a full load. Shift is on here for Diaz. 2 balls and no strikes. Hits it the other way. Nice piece of hitting. Aledmys Diaz.
Aledmys now has reached base 23 straight games. A lot of walks, but he's kept that average up there, hitting about 350 during those 23 games. Sinking action on, uses his hands inside the ball and hits it to the opposite field. They played him to pull in the infield, but played him the opposite way in the outfield.
It's a smart hitter right there. Smart player, Aledmys Diaz. Here's Piscotty, hit a .299, 13 home runs. He's driven in 53. Little tapper back to Ray. He'll go to second. They'll get that route, and they'll get the double play. Myers may have come off the bag, and Mike Matheny is seeing the same thing I did. Looked like he may have come off the bag to try to sell it. But in this day and age of replay, you don't need to do that.
No. Better off making sure that you're on that bag.
You also may have a question about at second base as to whether or not Amarista, the shortstop, was on the bag. There it is. The knee is.
Yeah.
So it's a double play. Both teams have turned a double play, and after one inning, the Padres behind a 2-run homer have the lead 2-0. A home run by Ryan Schimpf. This is game number 1 of our doubleheader. Both games will be seen right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Christian Bethancourt will lead it off. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. Bethancourt, Amarista, and Ray. 276 in just 46 games. He's popped 5 home runs, driven in 14.
He actually started the game in left field the other day as they're trying to keep his bat in the lineup a few more times.
Seeing more and more teams try to figure out a way to get their backup catchers into games and try to keep them sharp. Or in the Cardinals case, a Colton Wong to play the outfield. Versatility, especially in the National League. Good slider.
Yeah, very important too. As you say, you know, you increase your how important you are to a manager if you could play multiple positions.
Another 2-strike pitch. Good play by Adams. He was spun around and Martinez to the bag. First out here in the top of the second.
You know, Matt's kind of a rarity now. The only player that you would basically say is a one-position player. You know, now Wong can play the outfield. Bettencourt hits it to first base side. He was well off the line there. A little tricky hop. Stays with it. And then Martinez there for the little flip. Perfect. Throw that ball up head high and give it to him a lot of times before, you know, he doesn't have to look down and try and catch it at the same time when you're running to first base.
1 out, nobody on, and here's Alexi Amarista. Fastball and a strike. Martinez throwing hard with that extra day's rest that he's had coming out of the All-Star break. He is throwing gas. Slider taken a little bit high, 1-1. He's asking where that was, and just a bit high. Ground ball that's hit to second. Colton Wong is there. 2 down. Couple teams in baseball right now with a playoff drought longer than a decade. Seattle 14 years, Miami 12 years. And you look at Seattle, they've certainly got a chance at the AL wildcard. Miami right in the thick of things in the National League. The Padres right now in a rebuild, and this is not good. Martinez in a catcher's stance, and something's not right. May have a nosebleed. certainly does.
I was wondering if he was holding his head up high, and then like Diaz came in and kind of grabbed his chin. Put a little packing up in there, and probably be a little discomfort.
You know, sometimes individuals do have issues with that. You know, the dry air.
Yeah.
At times can lead to that. Certainly it's a muggy, hot day, and we have not seen that issue before with Carlos Martinez. You see Mike Matheny there. I asked him about Sunday, where they potentially could, for the first time this year, not use a starter in their original 5. And he said Matt Bowman would be a possibility. Tyler Lyons certainly a possibility, but Mike did tell me that they are both stretched out enough to potentially make that start. At least get some innings out of them. As Lyons now quickly starting to tie on the spikes and maybe get ready to go in this game.
In my mind, you know, I don't care what happens. You got 8 relievers down there. You should be able to cover it. Bullpen start.
All right, so they continue to check on Carlos Martinez. What we'll do is we'll step aside and update you when we come back. 2-0 Padres. Baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. Take a little break, visit with your bullpen mates, visit with the outfielders, and they continue to work on Carlos Martinez to try to stop the bleeding. If you're just joining us, nothing serious that we know of that happened. Just a nosebleed. And the medical team continue to work on Carlos.
We'll say the Padres and the umpires are being pretty patient.
this is unique. What do you do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a situation where I'm sure Andy Green was going, hey, you don't need all this time in between. Either he can go or he can't go. And saying Larry Vanover and his umpiring crew are kind of letting them have all the time to take care of this.
Special circumstance too with the doubleheader today.
Sure.
I mean, you don't want to lose your starter, obviously. One of the call-ups for the Cardinals is there on the left, Miguel Sokolovic. And Tyler Lyons on the right. Michael McHenry was designated for assignment. Johnny Peralta put on the DL with his thumb issues. Now, we've seen some odd things in games. I'm not sure we've seen anything more ridiculous than a moth flying in the ear of Matt Holliday a few years ago. Hey, things happen here at the ballpark.
Oh, yeah, they do. Has this big crowd mesmerized. And see, now Andy Green is walking out where I'm sure I understand the situation, but let's go. Pitcher would be the scheduled hitter with 2 outs here in the top of the second. You get to the point where you say, well, you either can pitch with the nose packed or not pitch. Get somebody else. They've been very generous.
Been a delay already of 8+ minutes.
Bringing more water out to him. Him drink water there. You know, I never ever drank when I was pitching. Have water in between. I would, it never felt like I'd have too much or it would upset my stomach or something of that nature. And to think about playing in the heat of St. Louis on the artificial turf, but it just felt like, something I couldn't do.
You'd be one of the rare ones then. So Martinez, after getting the first 2, will face Colin Ray, the pitcher. We'll get a couple of pitches just to get loose again. I would think, though, if this comes back, then it really becomes an issue for Andy Green. If they have to deal with this again and stop play.
The discomfort, you're out there trying to play like this, and just anything that's a little out of the ordinary, and having the left nostril packed.
Can't be comfortable.
No, but hopefully you can overcome that.
Martinez to Ray, and it swung on and missed. 2-0 Padres. 2-run homer by Ryan Schimpf back in the first. Mentioned that Ray is from Cascade, Iowa. That's about a 5.5 hour drive here to St. Louis. A lot of family and friends here today. And the 0-2 pitch struck him out. So he gets his second strikeout of the afternoon. We head to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Padres. today. More on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Dan, as you know, the Cardinals have had more than their share of weather issues this season, but Mike Matheny was saying that yesterday's rainout was a little bit different in terms of his clubhouse. He told me, quote, we had less meteorologists in the house, which was great. He told me usually everyone's trying to figure out who has the best weather app. He says that can be dangerous if you end up playing the game, if you start believing a forecast and mentally shut it down because you think you might be rained out. Mike says his guys were ready to go last night and really wanted to play. And Dan, today they have the opportunity to play 2.
Here we are, and here's one of the power hitters of the Cardinals in Matt Holliday. Let's get an update on one of the other power hitters that's not in the lineup. I saw him hopping around the dugout and up the steps from the dugout to the clubhouse in a good way, and that's Brandon Moss.
Yeah, really good news on Brandon Moss. He was cleared to take that walking boot off his left leg. He had the ankle issue. Dan, I'll let you handle this.
Out to left, gone. Home run into the bullpen. And the Cardinals get on the board with Holiday's number 17. And he's driven in 54. It's now a 2-1 San Diego lead. Well, Martinez is on the mound, so the splashing duties go to Michael Wacha. And a home run here for Holliday. He's up to 17, and he's driven in 55. Well, Jim, we were rudely interrupted, but go ahead and finish the update on Brandon Moss.
Yeah, these Moss updates are good luck, Dan.
Absolutely.
Moss was cleared to take that walking boot off a couple of days ago. He's actually been out there playing catch with Matt Carpenter. The ankle is doing a lot better. He's on the DL with a left ankle sprain. John Mozeliak said they're hoping Moss can go out on a rehab assignment sometime early next week, so that's good news for Brandon.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. There's a ball to Matt Adams getting a start. As we mentioned, this is the same lineup that was featured for last night. No changes, although the Padres did change their lineup in preparation for 2 games as that ball just missed to even it up at 2-2.
Moss is eligible to come off the disabled list today, but was never projected to come off this early. But very good news, as Jimmy reported, about progress he's making over the last few days.
Adams with a high fly ball lifted into right. Melvin Upton Jr. puts it away for out number 1. Let's turn to our game 1. Keys to the game presented by Toyota.
Well, one of the things you want to get Ray's pitch count up. He's shown a tendency last time he faced the Cardinals. He threw 101 pitches in 5 innings, but he has really struggled with the pitch count early and also get Martinez some runs. In the month of June, I mean, he really got no run support. Matter of fact, he allowed just 6 total runs in his last 6 starts with a 1.34 ERA. And only had like 1 win to show for it.
Strike 1 on Yadier Molina. I have not seen the medical team working on Carlos Martinez. I'm assuming they're back in the clubhouse and maybe getting him a new jersey and seeing if they can stop the bleeding and keep him in this game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another home run hit by the Cardinals, and that has been a mark of this team. There's Carlos, who has popped back out. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. That late downward movement. And the 1-2 pitch. Molina serves it into center field.
Nice pretty swing right there as he looks like he gets a slider that stays up a little bit. See the hanger. Like to see Yachty when he hits the ball up the middle and to the right side, staying on pitches and just relaxed. Gyorko, how about what he's done against his former teammates?
Mentioned that in the open right before our first pitch. Great numbers against The Padres, 9 for 14, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, that average 643. He's also scored 5 runs in just 4 games.
How about the fact Diaz is swinging 750? What, 12 for 16?
0-1 pitch taken in the dirt. Molina stays put at first.
Gyorko's got the 3rd highest average against the Padres, but Diaz with 750 would be the #1 in all-time history.
Ledmus came into play today, 11 for 15 against the Padres. 4 extra base hits.
And got another base hit today, but Gyorko has also hit 3 home runs in the last 3 games against his former teammates.
Runner at first is Yadier Molina. Solo home run by Holiday to start this inning. The 2-1 pitch to Jed Gyorko. Line drive into right. Upton makes the catch. Got a pretty good jump on it. Takes a hit away from Jed Gyorko.
Now Upton played left field in the first day of this series, and here he's in right field in place of Kemp, who will probably be in the 2nd game. But Matt Kemp not really running very well with leg issues, and I don't know if he would have caught that ball. As you said, Upton got a very good jump on it.
There's a look at Matt Kemp. We'll see him in game 2. He was originally in the lineup last night. Holiday's home run measured at 386 feet, and it brings in Kolten Wong. With all the lefties that the Cardinals faced initially out of the box to start the 2nd half, Kolten Wong saw the brunt of the playing time cut as he did not start in those games.
Very few extra base hits for Kolten this year.
But you look at Grichuk, and they're playing him every day. Adams, Wong, that trio, if they play every day, it'd be interesting to see where the numbers would be. Righties, lefties, put them in and see what happens. Wong hits it down the right field line and foul. Padres defense around the horn is brought to you by Dobbs. Dickerson in left, Jankowski at center, Upton Jr. in right, Solarte, Amarista, Schimpf, Myers along the infield. Bethencourt is behind the plate.
And I think it's safe to say that the Cardinals going into the season hope that Wong and Grichuk and Adams.
Oh, it's been that kind of year for Wong. Myers holding the runner at first, Molina, and because of that, Kolten Wong lines into the final out. But the Cardinals get a run here in the 2nd inning with 1 swing of the bat. Home run, Matt Holliday. 17th of the year, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Padres as we head to inning number 3. at Busch Stadium this afternoon. Pretty good seats down in the green seats. If you're hearing an echo on your television set, the reason why is that there's TVs that are tuned into our game as Molina hops out on it, makes the play for the out. So there's TVs here at the stadium, sparse crowd. That's why you hear the echo. And that's that.
Jankowski, we talked about how well he can run, drops out and bunts, and it's a close play, but out call over at first base.
So Adams gets that throw from Molina. If you put a gun on that, how hard do you think he's throwing? Seriously.
Probably mid-90s.
Yeah.
You know.
That is a bullet down to Matt Adams. Here's Ryan Schimpf, 2-run homer to dead center field to make it a 2-0 Padres lead. Cardinals come back with a home run of their own from Matt Holliday. Solo shot, 2-1 here in the top of the third. Does not seem to be any ill effects with the nosebleed in this inning thus far for Carlos Martinez. New jersey on. And the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball and a beauty, and he struck him out. That's 3 today for Carlos Martinez.
Early in the season, you know, we sacrificed velocity for better command and control. We've seen him just pump it up again. Averaging about 96 miles an hour. There he freezes him on a breaking ball. And the strikeouts keep on coming.
Here's Will Myers. Hear all the time from fans about Alex Reyes and bringing him up, and the comparisons that a lot of times you talk to the Cardinals personnel about with Reyes are Carlos Martinez. Both are very hard throwers. And it goes to your point, Al, where Martinez has backed off velocity to stay in games longer. Maybe sacrifices some of the strikeouts, but with a good sinker puts the ball in play. So the pitch count stays a little lower. Hence you have a pitcher that can stay out in games a little bit longer. You know, Reyes has been around that 5-6 inning mark, and there's no doubting his stuff. It's great. But they need to see him go deeper into games. If he's not going past 5 or 6 in the minor leagues, he's not going to do that here.
No, he's going to be less here and put too much of a burden on your bullpen.
Ground ball to the right side. Kolten Wong is there in a 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Martinez. He'll lead it off when we come back. It's game 1 of 2 right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Fans ages 16 and older receive a replica Road Gray 1956 Cardinals jersey. Unique throwback. This did not feature the birds on the bat on the front. That's this Saturday. For more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions. I don't mean to date you, Al.
Yes.
But and I mean this as a sincere question. You played with the old wool uniforms on your back.
First year.
How hot was it? Was it brutal, or were you used to it? What was it like?
Didn't know any better.
You just did it.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, that was the only uniform you had. You wore, they were all old flannel uniforms, and you know, a starting pitcher would lose 12 pounds.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
Martinez beats it out in an infield hit. Came in batting .273.
I'd love to see a pitcher, you know, that hustles. You know, you go out there, and of course, when you're athletic as Martinez is, you know, you can see him. He's staying in the game. A lot of times remember Pedro Martinez was traded from the Dodgers to Montreal because they said, well, he's too small. He'll never be a solid starting pitcher. And you watch guys that are athletes like Maddox, Glavine, Martinez, Pedro, and Carlos. These guys are, you know, they look athletic. They look like they can play, and they are very durable.
There's Randal Grichuk. Many of you know this. For those that don't, Carlos Martinez, initially when he was signed, was a shortstop.
Yes.
And then with that great arm, converted to the mound and became a pitcher, and now one of the best in the National League. 2 balls, no strikes on Randal Grichuk, who struck out swinging back in the first inning.
Now, we haven't said it for a long time, but bears repeating. Randal Grichuk was the #1 draft pick for the Angels, and Mike Trout was #2. Of course, Grichuk that year had led the nation in home runs for a high schooler.
Fouled back. Lowe's home field advantage, a comparison. Home and road for Randal. 265 at home, just 192 on the road. Majority of his home runs have come here at Busch Stadium, along with the RBI. Lowe's home field advantage.
I mean, Piscotty's a good cook. In a room together.
Maybe
home,
so.
Not on the road.
A 2-1 pitch. Taken high. You can understand why there's so much intrigue too with Randal Grichuk, because of velocity off the bat, and he registers some of the highest numbers in all of baseball. It's just a matter of putting the ball in play a little bit more. 3-1 the count. Runner at first is Carlos Martinez, and it's taken outside. First walk by Colin Ray, and the first 2 have reached for the Cardinals.
Not a good idea. You're pitching the first game of a doubleheader. All the infielders come in here, and they've got their say. Look, we're going to be all day at this ballpark. Let's have a little longer time in between games. Cashner was supposed to start this game tonight, and they moved him back till tomorrow. But I thought they might have pitched Cashner today during the first game to try and get somebody that would go deeper in the contest to save your bullpen.
I'm disappointed. I wanted to watch Perdomo make that start tomorrow. The Rule 5 pitcher that the Padres picked up from the Cardinals was part of the Futures game a year ago for St. Louis. Numbers game, and the Cardinals lost him. Now it's Diaz. Runners at first and second. So Al told you about the great numbers that Diaz has had against San Diego. They can't get this guy out. 12 for 16, home run. He's driven in 4. Picked up a base hit to right when they shifted against him back in the first. Big gap in left center. Our friends at Viva Alberto's. They do a lot of work on the Cardinals, and it's a fun website to look at numbers and great stories. They tell us that StatCast had Yadier Molina's throw at 79 miles an hour.
79.
Didn't it look harder to you?
Absolutely. I didn't think he could throw a ball that slow.
Me neither. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Diaz. If you get the chance, look at their website. A lot of fun. If you love the Cardinals, you'll enjoy what you read there. 0-2 the count on Diaz. Runners at first and second. And the 0-2 pitch goes the other way. Will it stay fair? Foul. So this throw at 79 miles an hour. I'm glad I'm not Matt Adams. Wham.
You know, did get on top of the ball and everything. Had a speedy runner, so I think that's where we thought that he would air it out as quick as he could.
Here's the 0-2. Diaz hits it to second. Could be a double play. Out at second, out at first. 4-6-3, and the Cardinals have hit into 2 double plays here this afternoon.
So far, Colin Ray has done what they said he has had trouble doing this year, and that's putting away hitters. Coming up with that magical pitch, you get the double play. Got one off the bat of Piscotty the first time up.
2 outs, runner at third. And a strike on the outside corner. Got a commitment today from Stephen Piscotty. He's going to come do our luncheon series in August. Those tickets will go on sale shortly. Chance for fans to hear from him, see him up close. Done that with Matt Holliday, and we have our evening series coming up with the 06 team, a reunion of at least David Eckstein and Jim Edmonds will be there. Hopefully Scott Rowland. Those are always fun nights, and we'll have a fun afternoon with Stephen coming up.
He's got 23 RBIs with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. That is the best in baseball.
That tells me he makes adjustments pitch by pitch, inside and at bat.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing in what, 150th game. I think that's what it is today, and we have noted that.
1-2 pitch, puts it in play, slowly hit. Schimpf, tough play, and just gets Piscotty. So the Cardinals strand their second runner, and we have played 3. We head to the 4th. Padres behind a 2-run homer back in the first lead this game 2-1. Ballpark, presented by New Balance, is Wednesday, August 10th. Fans who purchase the special theme ticket receive an exclusive Cardinals Runners technical t-shirt. So get your Runners Night tickets right now at cardinals.com/theme. Well, good seats still available. here at the ballpark. Come on down. Maybe you're watching the game and you're saying, you know what, I need to see Carlos Martinez go 9. I'm going to get my tickets right now. Martinez took his time. He was on the bases, so jogged off the mound, walked in the dugout, and then took his time getting back out on the mound. It's already been an eventful afternoon for him with the nosebleed and nearly a 10-minute delay. Solarte will lead it off. It's 2-1 Padres.
Solarte got a base hit in the first inning. That was the 3rd hit of the inning. And that is so rare because Martinez, best in all of baseball starting pitchers with a 138 average in the first inning.
Solarte greets him with a line drive to right. There's Piscotty. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Right fielder, Melvin Upton Jr.
Melvin Upton Jr. walked his first time up, then erased on a 4-6-3 double play. No yawning yet, young man. Got a long ways to go.
Might remind you of that later on.
Now my power was out at the house.
I know it still is, huh?
4 little ones, just a little hot at the house, and 4 little ones that were, I'd say, a little upset. But you know what, Al?
And then Dad goes off to work, so Mom has to deal with it.
You know what? We make do. Here's a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. That's the 2nd time that Martinez has given up a base hit with the count no balls and 2 strikes in this game.
Jandy's used to be a $50 fine, giving up
0-2
base hits.
T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Pujols was hit in the head last night, stayed in the game, and then hits 2 home runs. Jerry's Familia against Chicago escaped a bases loaded, no outs jam. He's been really good this year. And Kyle Loesch back in the big leagues with the Angels.
Good for Kyle.
See his hand shaking, the left hand.
If it just hit him around the elbow or something, but watch the left hand. Yeah, just below the elbow. He's had some trouble throwing over to first base recently. And luckily this one doesn't go too far away and no further advancement.
Alex Dickerson. Pretty sizable lead at first by Upton Jr. Not running, and the pitch is taken for a ball.
Melvin has 20 steals and 25 attempts this year. So getting on base a lot more frequently, and the Padres do like to run.
Ground ball taken on the short hop by Wong, and safe at first is Dickerson. So they get the lead man, and there's 2 down.
Infielders have turned to double play behind Martinez today early. That was in the first inning. That was his major league leading 21st double that Martinez has induced.
How about how Melvin Upton goes into second base? That is textbook now, the way that you're supposed to do it with the new rules of Major League Baseball. Really eliminates what could have been breaking up a double play by going out of the baseline with hands up, feet up. Just don't see it as much anymore. Here's Christian Bethancourt. That's taken for a ball. He grounded out his first time up. Fastball and a good one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cordes 1 for 4, a home run off of Martinez prior to today. Grounded out the first time up. And a 5-game hitting streak. This is Martinez's 18th start, Dan, and he's only given up 1 extra base hit to a right-handed batter. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. Here's a 1-2. Breaking ball, backs up and take it for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Danny says it backs up. It literally does. Just anticipating that it's going to be down and away, and it just kind of hung and spun, and almost what we say back up as it stays in and sometimes actually moves away. Let's see if you can get a good one. And it does exactly the same thing.
Full count with 2 outs, so the runner off with the next pitch.
Slider, and see how it instead of going down and away, it just kind of stays up. Sometimes hitters will know that one's coming and they get themselves out because they're expecting it to break and they jam themselves.
Runner off with this pitch. That's Dickerson.
Get the 3rd slider in a row. Fastball. 99. For the slider here. Another one really not doing what it's supposed to do, but just the difference of speed, little movement, couldn't center it.
Two outs, runner at first. Molina setting up on the outside portion of the plate. The 3-2 hits the inside portion of the plate, and Bethencourt couldn't hit the ball, so it's a strikeout. That's his 4th K of the day. We're midway through 4, and it's 2-1 San Diego. As we move to the bottom of the 4th. It is a hot afternoon here in St. Louis. Colin Ray will face Holliday, Adams, and Molina. Matt Holliday with home run number 17 and RBI number 55.
All of a sudden, you're starting to see that production, particularly in the home runs. Got off to a little slow start. 14 of his 17 home runs have come since May 10th. His numbers are great on the road this year, but getting much better at home. He's had a good homestand.
First pitch to Holiday is taken for a ball. Project the numbers out. Will be under 70 games after this evening, I believe, and Holiday's going to wind up hitting 25, 30 home runs, drive in 80 to 100. Average not where it once was, but still he's provided some power.
And he's really more of a line drive hitter, low ball hitter, so powers a lot of balls through the infield. But I think the weight loss and the positioning of it, how his body has changed, I think is really going to pay off here in the second half.
Also playing a little first base. The 2-1, a strike, 2-2.
Not only enhances his resume as the season, or the Cardinals have an option for next year. He would love to end his career wearing the Cardinal uniform.
2-2 pitch inside. Take you back to the second inning. This pitch winds up into the visitors' bullpen of the San Diego Padres.
17th home run, that ties him with Moss now for the team lead, and he leads in RBIs for the ball club with 55.
Most categories it was Matt Carpenter leading, whether it be walks, runs scored, on base percentage, RBIs at the time. But with him missing significant time with the oblique, some of those numbers will change in terms of the team leaders. 3-2 pitch. Hits it the other way, and it's out of play. Both games of this doubleheader right here on Fox Sports Midwest. We'll have the post-game show coming up after this contest. Full pregame show for game number 2 beginning at 6:30. And the 3-2. Holiday hits it sharply to short. Glove by Amarista. 1 out. Not making excuses for Holiday, but here at home he has hit some bullets like that right at fielders.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a pretty good example of how he hits and records some of his outs. They're just bullets, and if they make the plays behind it, he's back in the dugout. But I think he knows that as the season goes along, those numbers are going to be there, and pretty much the way you would project them for the season.
Here's Matt Adams. First pitch, a ball, flied out to right. So May 29th or June 8th, he played in 9 consecutive games, most he has started in a row this year, and he went on a tear. Then at that point, he had the lower back issues. Then Moss went on a tear, and so Adams sat, and it really took him out what was one of his great stretches this year. But it goes back to what we were talking about before, playing every day, playing with and knowing that it's going to be consistently in terms of your name in that lineup.
The last thing you want to do is feel like this at bat I've got to do 7 home runs and 50 RBIs in one at bat.
Base hit, beats the shift. Thinking 2. Upton misplays it in right, so for sure a double for Matt Adams. He delivered a 2-run pinch hit double to break open Monday's game. And now he picks up a 1-out double here in game 2.
There's another guy that hit the ball extremely hard. How quiet it is, then you see Upton stopped it, had to pick it up, had a double written on it all over it. A 3-game hitting streak now for Matt Adams. See if Yachty can't drive him in.
Molina with a base hit to center field when he had 2 strikes on him and just guided it into center. We've seen that so many times from Yadier Molina in his career. And a high fly ball out to left. Dickerson going back. Ball carried all the way to the track, and the catch is made, and Adams tagging up from second to third.
See Matt doing that, but you're absolutely right. That ball, I'm sure, tricked a lot of us, and the way it just kept on carrying out there. Going back on it, and then the last second he reaches up, and now you're in the middle of the warning track, and Adams saw that it was pretty much going to be caught, and so he was there to tag up in advance.
Now Jed Gyorko. Gyorko lined out to right. It's a 2-1 game. Home run by Ryan Schimpf. Only the second home run Martinez has allowed in the first inning in 55 career starts. High fly ball, center field. Speaking of home runs, goodbye! Gyorko again against his former team. And the Cardinals go on top. The 9th home run by Jed Gyorko, a 2-run shot. And now it's a 3-2 St. Louis lead.
Gyorko's trying to tell the Padres, you made a big mistake in dealing me. He's homered in 4 straight ball games. The first game of this series, he was 3 for 3 with a walk. And now he gives the Cardinals their first lead with a 2-run shot. Can't get him out. Wanted that ball inside more, left it out over the plate and took it right over the center field wall.
Here's Colton Long, who lined out his first time up. So there's 3 guys in this lineup the Padres have had issues with, and one of them being the former Padre, Jed Gyorko. That is a long home run. That's in David Freese territory of Game 6. Holiday with the other home run here, hit this afternoon by the Cardinals.
Keep on going, guys. 11 home runs now in the year given up by Ray. This is his 18th start, 19th appearance. These home runs just keep on coming, don't they? Just fun to watch it.
Cardinals with 2 home runs hit today, now with 128 this season, which ties them with the Nationals atop the leaderboard in the National League. 3-1 pitch, 3-2.
Colton over his last 9, but first time up, he lined the ball hard right to the first baseman, holding the runner on, and if it wouldn't been a runner on first base, it would have been an extra base hit down in the right field corner.
3-2. And he walked him. Second walk issued by the right-hander Colin Ray. So that will at least extend the inning to the pitcher Carlos Martinez.
Infield hit for Carlos the first time up.
Carlos Martinez.
Talk about how pitchers today, they all got to be 6'5" and above, and then you get a guy like Carlos, who's an athlete, and they go deep into a game, look very athletic, and the big guys look mechanical and look like they're going to break down, don't they?
And he takes a pretty good hack too.
And that's, used to worry about that he was going to pull an oblique or do something because of the vicious hack he would take.
Home run distance 431 feet off the bat of Jed Gyorko. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Lined into center field off the bat of Martinez, but the catch is made from Jankowski. Jed Gyorko, 2-run homer. And the Cardinals go on top for the first time here in game number 2. Keep an eye on that game. Cubs trying to bounce back after a disappointing finish to their game last night. Carlos Martinez now dealing with a lead for the first time in this game. Alexi Amarista will lead it off. 8th place hitter, then Colin Ray the pitcher, and Travis Jankowski. You can see the sweat on the back of the home plate umpire, Larry Vanover, on a hot, steamy, sticky day. A lot of rain in the area, obviously, last night and again this morning. Diaz to his left. Good play. 1 down.
You see Vanover, the crew chief, and perspiration. I mean, that power blue shirt into what? Royal blue.
Royal blue. It's hot. Next year's All-Star game will be in Miami. You can see it on the sleeve, the logo of the All-Star game of this year for the Padres on their left sleeve. I was shocked it did not get rained out.
Ted Leitner, one of the broadcasters for the Padres, I had to explain what that wet stuff was.
Wouldn't that be a great job, the grounds crew keeper in San Diego? You don't need the app.
Don't need the tarp.
Yep, 75. Come on out and play. Sunny. Hey, nice play made by a fan. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It was barehanded too.
Barehanded, and I don't think he left his seat, just reached up and caught it.
2-2 hit out of play. That pitch at 99 from Carlos Martinez. Did you ever get a souvenir when you went to a Dodger game?
No.
Me neither. I never got a souvenir.
Would you like
and I'm
me to
pretty
get
bitter
you one?
about it too.
Would you like me to get you one?
I'm pretty bitter.
There's the catch.
No big deal.
Oh, there. All of a sudden, Dad's going, maybe those things you told me about how good you were, maybe they're true.
Mm-hmm. And a strikeout for Martinez, number 5. 6 is a serious number and on the run. Cardinals score 6. Any size drink, just 50 cents the next day. That's coffee fountain, frozen drinks. When they score, you pour. At your nearest on the run, you earned it.
Just look down at my.
Well, that studio is getting ready right now. They've got the mops out, cleaning it all up. Ready for the grand entrance of Rick Horton, which has just taken place. Rick, I hope he's listening, but I thought whether it's Al or Jim Edmonds or Rick that you guys are supposed to be at the studio for a 1:15 game by 9:30 at least in the morning, no later.
Well, they make me come at 8:30.
Well, I don't doubt that you would be there, Al. Hit up the middle, and there is Diaz to his left and just gets Jankowski, who can fly. The studio being prepared for outstanding conversation on the postgame. Back in uniform for the Cardinals, activated, ready to go. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Dan Hazelbaker told me his plan for this, his return to the big leagues, fit in where he can. He was on the opening day roster for the Cards, played in 61 games, started 44, hit .250 with 7 homers before being sent back to Memphis on June 15th. He told me his outlook on going back down, quote, it's still a chance to play baseball and to wear a uniform as part of the Cardinals organization. He told me he's hoping to pick up where he left off before his demotion. He told me, quote, I've always been confident, but I know I can be better. He did have a stint on the 7-day DL in Memphis with a back issue, but Dan, he told me that back is no longer an issue.
And what about the situation with Johnny Peralta?
He's on that 15-day DL with a strained ligament in his troublesome left thumb. It's been an ongoing issue for Johnny. He jammed it on a check swing Sunday, and rest, cortisone shots, nothing seemed to help, so the Cards figured putting him on the DL might be the best option. And John Mozeliak told me that Johnny will rest that left thumb and in about 10 days resume some baseball-related activities, Dan.
All right, Jim, thanks. 1-2 the count here on Randal Grichuk. Peralta joins Matt Carpenter, oblique. Moss, ankle on the DL. So that leaves the Cardinals without their leading home run hitter at the time prior to today, Brandon Moss. He's now tied with Holiday with 17. And their leaders from the previous 2 seasons as well on the DL. Peralta in 2014, Carpenter last year. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the next to Grichuk as time is called. So 30 games for Johnny Peralta, hit just .221 and just didn't seem real comfortable.
No, it didn't. Just never really got it going. It's all spring training, or majority of it.
That's over the head of Grichuk.
Just a bit touch. Breaking ball, pull the bat down. You've seen that, haven't you? Gotta leave the bat up and the ball hit the bat. Feel like guys throwing it over your head and you get it making out.
2-2. Grichuk struck out and also walked.
Toyota Keys were get Martinez some runs. The Cardinals have done that. He's leading 3-2. And get the pitch count up on Ray.
And a swing and a miss. He has 2 strikeouts today, and both have been of Randal Grichuk. Infield hits, part of the game of Aledmys Diaz. His speed, 19 infield hits. That's the Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Diaz has singled and grounded into a 4-6-3 double play.
Saw BR. Milwaukee was leading that when we were up there. He was leading major leagues in stolen bases at that time. Hopefully eventually that'll be a bigger part of Diaz's career, stolen bases.
You know, we get asked all the time, what do the players do in between games of a doubleheader? Well, the clubhouse is air conditioned, so they'll cool off. They'll get something to eat. Some may take a nap, play a little chess, maybe some cards. There's some video games in the clubhouse they can play, but doing anything they can just to stay busy, but also stay a little bit loose and ready for game number 2. That's the norm. And there's other guys too. Diaz with a fly ball into center. There's Travis Jankowski, 2 down. Highest OPS in the month of July. Arcia in the driver's seat. We'll do this with Stephen Piscotty coming up. Solarte, Kendrick, Stanton, Votto, and Piscotty. On base plus slugging percentage. 0 for 2 today. Grounded into a double play and also grounded out to second. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Cardinals.
Dan, all the places I've played, never had food in the home clubhouse, except for maybe in between double headers.
There's a base hit into right.
The luxuries of the clubhouses today are, there was no TVs. We've been lucky to have not necessarily a radio, but say music, phonograph. Today is like so many places. Some guys don't eat it every meal they eat. Are in the clubhouse now.
1 for 2 is Matt Holliday with a solo home run back in the 2nd. I don't know if you heard me talk about this the other day, but the new CBA is coming up. By all accounts, that'll get taken care of. And if it's not, then people are morons with all the money that's being made. It's a $9 billion industry. But one of the things that's been talked about is that you have the potential of a reduced schedule next year to go to 154, which is what it used to be. Now, owners, and I can understand where they're coming from, they're saying, well, that's lost revenue. Those are games that you can make money in, and more you play, more money you make. But the idea would be, if they would go to, let's say, a 162 and keep it, that you would have days like today. You would have double headers. And so it would allow you to have a day off every week of the season. That's something that's being talked about right now. I find it fascinating to see if that would happen. Play a few more double headers and still keep your 162. Oh, 1 pitch.
Would never happen, but the old-fashioned doubleheaders where they were back-to-back instead of the day-night doubleheaders that we're going to experience today. deep for Holiday, and you'll see the center fielder is always going to shade towards right a bit.
Two balls and one strike. Also talk of an expansion of rosters too, from more than 25 players on a roster. And one of the ideas would be is that you would have an inactive list for games.
Yeah.
So you'd eliminate probably 3 of your starters.
Right.
The 2-1 pitch. I think they should use that when they expand rosters in September.
Yeah, I think so. You see the breaking ball here. So it's a good one. It goes from shoulder blades all the way down below the knees. Yeah, Dan, it makes sense. And then sometimes you'll sit there and you'll see, you know, September, if you're in competition, you might be carrying, you know, 35, 36 of your 40-man roster, where somebody else is carrying, you know, basically being cheapskates and maybe have 1 or 2 call-ups.
Well, one of your call-ups could be your fastest guy in your organization.
Sure.
And if you need a stolen base late in the game, that becomes an important roster spot.
There's one time the A's had Herb Washington, you know, was an Olympic sprinter. He was on the roster, but you better have a little bit of baseball instincts, because everyone knew every time he got to first base, he was running. They would step off, throw over, and they'd pick him off.
3-2, taken low. 3 walks issued by Ray.
Much better than when what he's done in the past, but you see 85 pitches, and here he's still in the 5th inning. Balsley, their pitching coach, is out there, and you see only the first inning did he have less than 10 pitches thrown. 4th inning, 24. How long will it be here in the 5th?
He's averaging just over 17 pitches per inning coming into this start today.
And 5 1/3 innings per start, which puts a lot of burden on your bullpen. And when you have 1 or 2 other starters in your mix that not going deep into ball games, it just kills your bullpen. And health's an issue too. Cardinals are the only team in baseball that have used 5 starters the entire season. Padres are up to 11.
Floats in there for strike 1. Adams doubled and scored on the homer by Gyorko back in the 4th. Chevy Fox tracks. Drops a 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball in there.
See, a lot of those breaking balls are up in the zone.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Adams. Up and in. Mentioned the double pinch hit variety the other night for Matt Adams. Cardinals pinch hitters .353, 10 home runs. They've driven in 33 this year.
That was a 10-2 Cardinal win.
There's a high fly ball. Lifted into right center. Jankowski back with just enough room as Adams gave it a ride. Cardinals strand 2. We have played 12,000 kids 15 and under entering with a ticket receive their own limited edition Cardinals Bear compliments of Build-A-Bear Workshop. Don't forget to visit Build-A-Bear Workshop's new store, now located in the Ford Plaza. For more info, just visit cardinals.com/promotions. Those Sunday home games are ice cream Sundays as well, and many times you get to run the bases after the games. Just check the Cardinals website for those kids' dates. The ushers have asked those in the upper deck to move down so you get a little better seat than you may have had at the start of the game last night. Must be in the front row. Schimpf, Myers, Solarte. Carlos Martinez allowed the first two to reach back in the first. It was a double and a home run. And since then, he's settled in. That pitch is popped up. Wong, the second baseman, calling for it. He's got it.
So he allowed one hit since the first inning. And remember, just the All-Star break extended off time for him, and took him a while to get himself zeroed in.
1 point, he had 9 in a row. And now it's 6 in a row. Here's Will Myers.
11 days since he had pitched.
Ooh, and Myers hit by the pitch. First time he's been on base in this series. He had struck out and grounded out. Now the tying run is aboard.
The ball just took off, runs in on him right above the elbow.
Brings in Solarte, who singled on an 0-2 pitch to right back in the first inning, and also flied out to right. Cardinals have turned a double play. That was off the bat of Dickerson back in inning number 1.
The 21st double play, most in the National League. Martinez has induced.
You get that with that good sinker. A lot of ground balls.
Just he really mixes things well. He's got the good sinking fastball, and then he can elevate it with a 4-seam fastball that he can throw triple digits.
Wong, what a play. Colton Wong, outstanding at second base.
Can't hit a ball any harder, but and then of course somebody will say, well, Colton, you should have dropped the ball and got an easy double play. Mine usually doesn't work that way.
If his mind was working that fast, he's a better man than me.
Right. You know, he knew about the possibility of a double play, but to sit there and drop it, usually you try and get tricky like that and you mess up a play.
That was a bullet.
Yeah, it was a bullet.
Upton's been on base twice. He has walked and singled on an 0-2 pitch back in the 4th. Good fastball at 96. Kubota power stats. Padres all-time home run leaders.
Nate Colbert, St. Louis, top of that list.
Tony Gwynn with 135.
Yeah. Winfield, another Hall of Famer on there, but Tony Gwynn had a talk with Ted Williams. Ted Williams said, you know, you're a great hitter, but you really should hit for more power. And after that conversation, then next year, all of a sudden, he had career highs in home runs and RBIs. He said, oh, I can do that.
There's a ground ball that's hit to short. Diaz flips it over to Adams. Padres have stranded 3 midway through 6. Cardinals on top by a run. Yadier Molina will lead it off. It's 3-2 Cardinals as we move to the home half of the 6th. Martinez still in this game, 6 strong innings. Gyorko another home run against his former team, and Holiday with a home run. Along with the mean, mad Hungarian Al Rabaski. Jim Hayes is here. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the first pitch is popped back and foul.
Too old
He's
to
a
do
softy
that.
at heart.
Too old to do that. Might scare me.
He's a big old softy. I know it. Those that are around you on a daily basis know it. You're a softy.
Maybe we get Horton to come over and do the second game after you had this unfortunate injury.
To show how soft you really are.
Yes.
Have you been, you know, Mike Helling, our longtime producer, when his son was 4 or 5 years old, you held him outside the booth. Literally over the desk that we have here.
300 feet tall, you know, high.
Al, you could have dropped him, and that would have not been a good scenario for you or your career. But you had all the faith in the world that you would not drop that baby.
I wouldn't drop him. Didn't drop him.
What was going through your mind?
I wanted to make an impression with the young man.
Well, you did. And his parents.
Tom Meade and his boys have an experience. I think it was out in San Diego in the pool at the hotel.
What'd you do?
I can't remember, but I think they were scared to death of me too.
Tommy is telling me that you held him under water for 50 seconds. Does that sound right?
No, I counted to 50 and I was really slow. I couldn't remember.
Oh, so it was 1:50. That's great. Molina with a high fly ball out to deep left field, has a chance. Goal! Into the bullpen, and the 3rd Cardinal home run hit this afternoon.
There we go, Yachty. His 3rd home run of the year, 29th RBI. Gives the Cardinals a little more breathing room at 4-2. And he made a lot of fans in the stands pretty happy. Go with the breaking ball. Another one pitch. It stays up, belt high, and it was belted.
Third home run for Yadier Molina. 2nd hit today. He's driven in 29.
Loaded up on that one.
And it's another game in which the Cardinals hit 3 or more home runs.
And we'll just say one more time about my babysitting. You know, I made equal opportunity. Remember what happened to Wanda Brock?
Oh yeah, that's right. You babysat Lou's kids.
Yeah, Lou Jr. and Wanda in spring training, and somehow she broke her wrist.
That's great, Al.
I felt bad about that one.
Oh, you did not. Here you go, Lou. They were acting up. Sorry.
Not his kids. They were great. Richie Bree's kids that were the animals.
You see the smoke that's hovering around the ballpark after the fireworks. Oh my goodness. Ray makes the catch and a bullet right back at him off the bat of Gyorko.
That's how they get him out. Gyorko, who just has had great success, over 600 coming in facing his former mates, lined out to right field the first time up, 2-run home run next time, and look at this bullet right back here that catches Ray, and then he eventually catches it. Right back at his waist, trapped it against his belt, and held on.
Now all this smoke has got to take you back to the 70s. As Wong pops it up,
Never into that, Danny. I know your reference.
Not sure what you're referring to.
Someone who's lived through it and others read about it.
0-1 the count on Colton Wong, who is lined out and also walked. Cardinals with a lead of 4-2 with 3 home runs hit today. Good seats still available for game 2 if you want to come on down.
Hey, come out and watch the Cardinals. They're getting back on track and winning at home. They can match their road record in the second half.
There's a fly ball lifted into shallow center. Jankowski under it, and he makes the catch.
Start winning at home like they normally do. We're going to have a lot of fun.
The bold and refreshing frozen strawberry lemonade is back, and it's only available at McDonald's. So if somebody hits one in Big Mac land, who gets that souvenir today? The section's over from that. If they would pan left, you would see that those are empty too, but that guy is that usher right there, he's waiting for a souvenir.
Almost looks like the entire upper deck. Pushed everyone down to lower seats.
Strike 2 Carlos Martinez. 1 ball 1 strike, 2 outs, and the Cardinals have a lead of 4-2. Right there, there's your souvenir getter. A broken bat, that's Martinez in the ground ball, and the Cardinals have hit 3 home runs. It adds up to a 4-2 St. Louis lead. The most recent home run off the bat of Yadier Molina, his 3rd this year. Into the Padres bullpen. We head to the 7th. Conducted in late August at Fox Sports Midwest Live. Sam Braden, Terry Moore, Joe Torre, Chris Carpenter. And if you'd like to be a part of it, find out more at cardinals.com/HOF. There are giveaways for that entire weekend with the plaque and a statue of Bob Gibson in the red jacket. All kinds of good giveaways that weekend at Fox Sports Midwest Live and Cardinals Baseball. Well, the Cardinals have just announced, if you had a ticket or if you know somebody that had a ticket to the game last night, as a good faith gesture following the rainout that forced the quick turnaround for today's rescheduled game, the Cardinals reaching out to all fans that purchased tickets to last night's game, and they have a special offer. So this is what's going to happen. Many tickets are ordered online, so the Cardinals do have your email. Club will send a ticket voucher redeemable for tickets to a future game, either this year or next year. And each ticket that was purchased is good for 2 tickets in this offer. And the Cardinals ticket department will contact all fans with further details in the near future. Now, we understand that some may have bought at the ticket box office. We'll find out who you were and make sure that you get your tickets as well. But it's a good deal. So if you had a ticket to last night's game, essentially you have 2 for every ticket that you bought to last night's game for a future game either this year or next year. And a fly ball lifted into right. We'll start play here in the 7th as Dickerson is retired and Martinez has really settled in.
He really has, as we now keep on saying it. We said it earlier, but only 1 hit since the first inning. So it was 78 total pitch counts, but you can see a couple of efficient innings there. Just the first innings, the only time he really was a little bit of trouble. He gave up 3 of his 4 base hits then. Walked a man, the only walk that he has allowed. They've had 2 base runners, a base hit by Upton in the 4th, and then he hit Will Myers in the 6th.
Chopper slowly hit, tough play. Gyorko barehands makes the play. How about Jed Gyorko here against his former team?
Well, he's been outstanding offensively, and now he's showing you some plays defensively. But really a nice play, do or die play. He allows that ball to come in barehanded, let it roll to the palm of the hand, and then roll down to the fingertips to make the throw.
It's always important to have your starter go deep into games. It doesn't matter when it happens, day game, night games, after the break, before the break, opening day, last day of the season, whatever. But when you're playing a doubleheader, to have that starter in game 1 go deep, it does give the manager a sense of relief of being protected in game 2.
No doubt. And I think Mike is very happy. You know, the way we watch Martinez pitch and perform. You know, he's very durable. He goes in there. He's averaging 6 1/3 innings per start. He's past that today.
That's laced the other way and foul off the bat of Amarista.
Sometimes you can have a day-night doubleheader like we have today, and you just have to tell your starter, hey, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to take a beating. I got to get innings, so it's nothing personal, but I got to save my bullpen for game 2. I think in some ways, you know, we're seeing that Andy Green has got to be a little bit pleased with what he's seen from his starter, Colin Ray, going 6 innings. They've got the bullpen active.
It's got to be a sense of relief to know that Martinez could continue in this game after he had the bloody nose and a delay of nearly 10 minutes to tend to that. At that point, you weren't sure if he was going to be able to continue to throw in this game.
That was 2 outs, or only 1 out in the first inning. Remember, he came back and got Dickerson to hit into a double play. Or was it the strikeout in the 2nd?
But caught Molina. Cardinals have scored their last 8 runs via the home run in the last 2 games. As Yachty is down on a knee and trying to catch his breath after that foul ball. Home plate umpire Larry Vanover giving Molina some time.
Want to run out and help him, but there's not really much they can do.
Assuming that Rosario would get the game 2 call behind the plate. Jaime Garcia going in game 2 of this doubleheader.
There's nobody that can equal Molina defensively, but it looks like with Rosario, 11-year veteran down there, and our umpire's still giving him some more time and go and get some fresh baseballs to let Yachty recover a little bit more. And we got 2 guys out. Big Mac land, it looks like. That really does remind me of a story that Charlie Sheen, he had a buddy and he bought the entire left field section at Angel Stadium to try and guarantee that they get. Oh, it's Fredberg. He's got a fan. So there are 2 fans out there. But he bought the entire left field section so he could get some foul balls.
Holiday is over and makes the catch. Nice play, Matt Holiday. Positioned perfectly, and the fans did not interfere. Oh, from the kiss cam to Fredberg. Does it get any better? No, it does not. Nice play by Holiday. It's 4-2. Time to stretch. Chevy called to the pen. The Cardinals got to him in game 1. He's had 5 appearances, and the ERA jumped up a bunch after he was roughed up first game of this series.
Came in 1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out 1, and allowed the 2 home runs.
New shortstop, Alexei Ramirez. If you ever watched White Sox games, Al, you would know.
Oh, I know.
Alexei! He's at short.
Signed as a free agent contract with San Diego for this year. 34 years of age now.
It's time for the Gateway Honda Home Run Dealers inning. They'll donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation for any Cardinal home run hit this inning.
Not mistaken, it was the 7th inning.
You are not mistaken.
Yep.
We had 2 the other day.
It was Grichuk and Gyorko back to back.
So here's Grichuk. He'll lead it off. In the top spot of this lineup. And he takes a ball inside.
Carlos talking, have a good old time. He has fun every day. No surprise that the right-handed batters hit those home runs. Last time out, right-handers are hitting over 300 against Dominguez, and lefties are just batting 143.
Only 4 hits given up by Martinez today, and 3 of the 4 coming in the first inning. Personally, I think you should read this, but I'll read it, and then you can tell me all about it. Fox Sports Midwest is proud to sponsor the Cardinals Doing It Right program. Cardinals last night recognized Sullivan Elementary School, the annual Doing It Right school decorating contest, and some of the kids and teachers are here at the game today. So congratulations to Sullivan Elementary. If you're interested in bringing Al Raboski or Brad Thompson, Fred Bird to your school, the Do It Right program, find out on the Cardinals website. You've been doing that for years.
Oh yeah, Joe Cunningham started that. He was my first minor league manager, and then he was in the front office, and started the Doing It Right program, and tremendous success, and hopefully has made a difference. And it's a free program. So, and I was at Sullivan this year. They had the best decorated school.
2-2 is a fly ball lifted into right. Shallow. There's Upton Jr. with the shades on. It makes the catch.
And the Cardinals provide that for 75 to about 100 schools every year. Free program. About a 50-minute assembly. Redbird comes out, and it's really an anti-drug message. And we have a lot of fun. And like the Sullivan School, they really got involved, everybody involved in decorating that school, and did a great job. And so they had a sweep in last night's game.
I think fans would be amazed at all the different things the Cardinals do behind the scenes that just doesn't get a lot of notoriety in terms of the school programs or the individuals going out and visiting with sick kids, organizations that help the elderly. I mean, it is a lot.
I just mentioned that Diaz this week, I went out and met a group of kids, special needs kids, and Martinez has kind of followed in what Carlos Beltran did. We're helping out the Latin community and here and getting involved. We saw a nice little bit on what Tommy Pham did during the All-Star break, reaching out to the kids at Matthews Dickies and telling them his personal story.
I'm not sure if you know the answer. That makes it to the upper deck. Stays there. So hold that thought, Al. Aledmus Diaz, the BJC Healthcare difference maker. Rookie ranks at shortstop since 1974. Only Derek Jeter has had numbers to rival what Diaz has done in those categories, and he was a rookie in 1996 as he picks up another base hit. Second hit today, and he's 2 for 4. So Dan Farrell was in our booth moments ago. Do you know what the crowd is today?
I'd say about 29,000.
11,191.
That is what came into the ballpark. And
correct.
Everything, which is really a testament to the quick turnaround.
And we had tickets sold 40,184. So if you're wondering if we continue to say, well, the Cardinals have not had a crowd under 40 since September of 2012, that continues because of the tickets sold.
Yeah, and then of course the tremendous offer the Cardinals just made to everyone that had a ticket. Maybe they couldn't come back today for the quick turnaround, and so very nice gesture by the Cardinals to allow what, for every ticket you got a chance to see 2 games.
That's right.
I think the Cardinals do their part in the community, don't they?
They do.
Cardinals care. The grants that they give, the hundreds of thousands of dollars every year.
Just got a text from one of my favorites, and that would be Carrie Robinson. And Carrie's daughter is at the ballpark today, and she is 16 years old. Cammie Robinson. It seems like yesterday that we were witnessing that famous walk-off home run by Carrie Robinson against the Cubs.
Those 2 little girls were, what, 3 and 5, something like that.
Swing and a miss by Piscotty. Carrie, a St. Louis native, Hazelwood East and Southeast Missouri State, and all the way to the big leagues.
Actually played a little bit of time with his father in the Cardinal minor league system.
He also hit a home run on Father's Day right near the section where his father was sitting that day at Old Busch Stadium too. Now working in the Cardinals front office is Carey. He said something incredibly interesting to me, and as a scout they have a checklist, and then with that checklist of the particular points of a player they get a grade. And he said, I actually did a checklist of myself and evaluated myself as a player, and he said, I'm not sure I would have given me a contract. How about that? He had great speed as that catches Bethancourt. It may be in one of those spots where they don't have protection. Where did it catch him here?
Look at the right leg. See the knee, you know, I mean, you got the shin guards, but there's areas that the ball can find right in between the protection, and almost like it'll go right in and feel like it's bone on bone.
We saw Molina get one earlier. Time had to be called for him to make sure he was all right. And they continue to check on Bethancourt. We had the delay of Carlos Martinez with a bloody nose. For those of you that just joined us, it wasn't from a ball that was hit or anything that you would be overly concerned with. It was just he started to bleed and had a delay of about 10 minutes or so. So 1-2 the count on Stephen Piscotty as Bethancourt looks like he's going to stay in this game, at least for the time being. If you have a ticket for tonight, it's just like a normal night game. Gates will open at the same time, and pregame festivities and whatnot. If you have a ticket for tonight, if not, still some good seats available. Runner goes, and a throw down to second, and what a throw. Bethancourt has been known, and he was a highly thought of prospect at one point in his career. He was known to have a cannon, and we just saw it there. What a throw.
I think you're right. Fastball up and in. It's not the easiest to throw with, but you see Diaz just tag waiting for him to come into it. Thrown out by plenty. That's one aspect of Diaz's game that will improve, you know, stealing bases.
And a swing and a miss, and Piscotty strikes out as Bethancourt limps towards the dugout, the catcher of the San Diego Padres. We played 7, and the Cardinals lead at 4-2. Chevy called to the pen, and this is Kevin Siegrist. He's had another solid year. Had to go on the DL with mono and came back and pitched in the heat over the weekend. It turned out to be a long inning, and that's been the only blip on the radar for Kevin. Pretty much what you see is what you get. He's been very good.
I talked to him today a little bit and how he was feeling, and he was kind of perplexed, like the training staff was, that you don't really know why, but you feel like whether it's sun poisoning or something to the point where your strength is zapped, and so when they discovered it was mononucleosis, it made it a lot easier, and was saying how much better he feels now, especially after had a couple of pitching performances. Get back acclimated to the heat.
Well, Martinez only threw 89 pitches, and you think about the heat of today, the bloody nose that Martinez had. He was on base twice in running and could have been a concern there, so they pull him out of this game, and it's up to the bullpen. Ramirez grounds out to second. That's the first out here in the top of the 8th. And you can follow the Cardinals wherever you may be. I mean anywhere. All you have to do is have a tablet, iPhone maybe, Al, for you, iPad, wherever you may be. Just head to MLB at Bat. And it's got StatCast, news, and more, and you'll have more baseball and you know what to do with. Got it?
Got it.
Here's Jankowski.
It's checked off.
Check it off. Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Kevin Siegrist. He showed the curveball a little bit more after about the first month of the season, and it's tailed off a little bit. He will show it more, though, against lefties if the opportunity presents itself. But we know about the good fastball, changeup, hides the ball well. I don't see real clean swings against him.
No, I think the fact that he's so tall, and the key is, like you said, he hides the ball and sneaky fast, but it's high octane too at 95 plus.
Here's a 1-1, just missed.
And you're right about the curveball. Worked on it so hard in spring training to neutralize left-handers, but I thought he started throwing it way too much to the right-handed batters and took away from his extremely effective changeup to the right-handed batters. He had no problem getting righties out.
2-2. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks. He comes with the fastball to make it 2-2. And the next two, Travis Jankowski. Fastball again, and it's fouled away. Well, when you had the struggles of Trevor Rosenthal and then Siegrist out, talk about roles having to be redefined in a bullpen. That was it. Two of your main guys not in games, and then all of a sudden, is your closer. Matt Bowman has taken on a greater role. We're finding out more about Bowman and Tyler Lyons in late inning situations.
Read the needle right there. Just wonder if Molina was set up outside, and it is outside. Didn't get him chased.
Out of play.
Where Holiday is playing near the left field line. Big gap out in right center as Grichuk, the center fielder, is playing over towards left, but Holiday, wouldn't play that close to the line for a left-handed pull hitter.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Jankowski. Hit the other way and positioned perfectly. There it is. Holiday. Makes sense. Hard thrower, left-handed bat. Guy with speed can slap it the other way.
Slap it the other way. Watch even the foul ball that he caught. He had to be claimed so close to the left field line to catch that foul ball off the bat of Amarista.
Brings in Amarista. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Check that, Ryan Schimpf. First pitch, a ball, and there's 2 outs, nobody on. Happy 100th birthday to Liz Thompson. Liz Thompson, 100 years young and never misses a game, and happy birthday. Also happy birthday to Kevin Segrist.
I noticed that. Ross works in the booth next door. It's his birthday.
Ross Neal, the booth next to us, celebrating a birthday. There's that good curveball.
Yeah, curveball, it just froze him. And you can see he just couldn't pull the trigger on it. Just showing a pitch like that, showing when you can throw a strike with it, just really puts that thought in their mind. See if he doesn't repeat it.
1-2, he does, and got him with a breaking ball. So Schimpf strikes out. Back-to-back curveballs from Kevin Segrist, and a scoreless top of the 8th for the Cardinals lefty. 4-2 midway through 8th. Brought to you by Bud Light Lime. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals.
And it'll never happen, but
never say never, Al.
I'm going to say, you know, leave Segrist out there for another inning with a doubleheader tonight instead of going to O.
What about relievers bouncing back in game 2 of a doubleheader? Of concern at all?
I think it's up to each individual. Some people, I think, preferred it the old way where it was back to back, so you didn't have the, you know, 3 or 4 hours in between.
Sure.
You know, you have the chance that you could stiffen up a little bit, especially late inning guy, where now you pitch.
Well, I think you bring
at
up
4 o'clock, and then you have to wait till like 9:30 to 10 for your next assignment.
I think you bring up a very valid point. You have a save situation coming up in game 2, and you know, you would assume that those guys would be available, but you never know.
Well, today you never know, because the way they, you know, the standard, we say, well, we'll talk to them in between games, and everybody's going to say, I'm ready to go.
Holiday strikes out. Al says he wants a high-speed replay brought to you by AT&T. Al, here you go. Home run early on.
I liked it. For 17, ties Moss for the team lead. One more RBI, 55 to lead the ball club.
Hey, how about the hustle of Phil Nichols, our cameraman, right behind Holiday to get those shots of this hot day? Let's give him some credit, huh?
Well, Dan, I mean, we always know Phil hustles.
Into right, and there's 2 outs. Phil has got the camera that, for fans at home that don't know, it's not attached to any wires, and he's able to travel and roam around the ballpark, go wherever he wants. There he is, Phil Nichols. And the shot from his camera right here. He's on his knees, he's sweating.
I'm always ready to go.
Yes, he is. All right, Phil, go ahead and put it down and grab a Coke.
How about our crew? You know, a little late crew call for them today, so they showed up at what, 9 o'clock in the morning?
Ground ball that's hit to short. And the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Outstanding work of Phil Nichols. Give me a head shake, Phil. Yeah, you like your own work? Yes, you do. Be your own agent, buddy. 4-2 St. Louis. Call to the pen takes us to Seung-Hwan Oh. So Segrist a scoreless 8th, 7 very strong innings from Carlos Martinez, and Oh trying to get the final 3 outs. 2 for 3 in save opportunities, the ERA of 1.75. And he will deal with 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup for San Diego. Tommy Pham takes over in center field, shifting Grichuk to left. There's strike 1.
Oh, for the most part, strike thrower, struck out 61 in 40+ innings.
Here's a 1-1. Ground ball that's hit to second. Taken there by Colton Wong. 1 away. Budweiser, what's on tap? It's game 2 coming up tonight of the doubleheader. Will come your way at 6:30. Jaime Garcia will get the call for the Cardinals. Paul Clemens, 1-0 for the Padres. You know, Eugene, when he's always before or after games kind of smiling, hopping around, having fun. But boy, he takes on the look of a coach when Seung-Hwan Oh is in. He's locked in. No smiling. Eugene, for those that don't know by now, is the interpreter for Seung-Hwan Oh. And that's hit out of play. Nice play. The soggy turf made by the ball boy down the right field line. Had to make the adjustment off the tarp. Great feat.
You're getting ready for the second game, aren't you?
Absolutely, Al. Locked in.
2 more outs, Dan. Then you can relax.
How big is that glove? He shouldn't miss anything. 1-2. That's got to be a softball glove.
You're right. It is big.
Right by Eugene. That foul ball, but look at him. He's back on the top step. No problem.
It didn't phase him a bit.
No.
Been fun having him around.
Good guy. Ground ball again. That's pulled foul. Stoic. You think you're going to get in his head? No way. You going to upset him? Not a chance.
I wasn't trying to personally.
It's locked in, Al.
Okay.
1-2 pitch. Got him with a changeup.
Change-up grip. Started about the belt. Falls down to the knees. And hit her way out in front.
Upton, first pitch, a strike. Carlos Martinez, our Budweiser player of the game, 7 innings. He gave up 4 hits, 3 of the 4 coming in the first. The 0-1. Make it 0-2. If the Cardinals hold on, they go to 5 games above the 500 mark. 0-2 pitch by O.
Remember how Tony used to always say, you go in increments of 5. With 5 above 500, then you set your sights on 10 before you go to 15 to 20.
1-2 pitch. Just missed.
Cardinals were 7.5 games behind the Cubs at the start of the day. And the Cubs look like winning or have already won. 6-0.
He got him. Oh, strikes out Upton, and the Cardinals win it by the score of 4-2. St. Louis now 49-44. They take game 1 of the doubleheader.
Starting to look like the Cardinals of old, winning here at home. Got a game here tonight. They can win 3 out of 4. Or they won the first 2 games. They win the 3rd one here tonight. And it's all about winning series. But
the reaction of the brain trust. Eugene, all a day's work. Had it in the bag. All right, we've got a post-game show coming up. Scott Warman, Rick Horton standing by, and we'll have a pregame show coming up as well. That's at 6:30. Then game 2 coming up of this series. It's 4-2 our final. Post-game with Scott and Rick is next.